Hello everyone, and welcome to Now We Know, starring me, Chris Tognotti. I'm excited to announce it's a brand new day here at Now We Know Studios. I have successfully expelled Kevin from the company. The days of Kevin, they're no more, folks. Now we have a random lottery selection to determine who will co-host the show with me. I have pulled the number. I've already sent the invite, the raffle ticket number, which includes all of you who have been listening, who responded to the MailChimp I sent out last week. The number is 1422089, and just opening up the waiting room now. All right. It's this can't be right. This is some kind of mistake.
1, 2, 8, 8, 9, 9. No. I win, and you win, and the listeners and viewers win.
I ran the scheme from the social network to get you out of the company, and yet now you've somehow wormed your way back in. I reorganized the corporate structure so that your shares were worthless, and yet here you are.
Sorry.
Kevin Werkeiser.
Sorry, shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Should have allowed me to buy raffle tickets. Should have been that you only sold them to people that weren't current employees. But
I just didn't think you were going to be willing to pump that much money into getting back on this show.
I only bought one.
Oh no, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
No, that's
sorry.
just...
Mark Summers also bought one, but I guess he didn't win.
Damn, he would have really brought some heat to this show. It's not the only show that we've discussed recently, or will soon be discussing, that would have benefited from the involvement of Mr. Mark Summers, a veteran children's game show host.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We are here today to discuss the short-lived, but as I've learned, not short in run, not non-prolific, less than a year on the air in its original Nickelodeon run, yet 130 episodes. So
they knew how to crank them out back then.
They sure did. I mean, we talked about this on our Double Dare episode, where those Double Dare shows, they were recording 8 to 10 of those a day.
Right.
It was like 2 weeks, we're doing all the Double Dare for the year.
Yeah.
And by the end of those 2 weeks, sorry kids, it's the same pool of beans.
Yeah.
You have to be hosed down after the show, because you will get, that's right, a rancid bean rash if you fall in the pool.
Yeah. But the what was punishing for the children was good watching for the other children, the children at home.
It's true. It's true.
Unlike Finders Keepers, which has no vats of beans. Just has shelves of books.
Hey,
what if Double Dare were about books instead of slime?
Let's not throw too much dirt on Finders Keepers. This was one of my favorite shows when I was 4.
Great.
No. Yes, Finders Keepers is the name of the show. This is a Nickelodeon game show that, in my experience, very few people remember.
Yeah.
Did you remember this? You knew nothing of it?
No, I mean, it all feels a little familiar, but because it feels like a Nick show from this era, I mean, we got Harvey doing backing vocals.
We do indeed have Harvey. When I saw him, I thought, do you think he goes up to Wesley Eure? Because he's already been doing Double Dare.
Yeah.
Do you think he goes up to Wesley and talks to him like David Lynch in that Louie episode where he's going up for the Tonight Show? Like, I thought you were a newsman.
Yes. No, I think he probably just was like, "Oh yeah, you'll get him, kid. Keep swinging, slugger." I don't feel like he was doing a lot in terms of coaching, or if he was, he's a bad coach and should be fired.
So I will, this dropped in 87 on Nickelodeon. It stars Wesley Eure, who you may know as the Wesley from Land of the Lost in the 70s. He's the star of Land of the Lost. Land of the Lost.
Okay.
But in that show, he was credited merely as Wesley, without his last name, in what I've gleaned was an attempt to sort of launch him as, like, this is one of these, like, guys who is a star so bright he has but one name. So it's like, well, this is...
And that name, Wesley.
Yeah.
It's not Madonna. It's not Cher,
in the mold of a Madonna or a Cher. So that didn't work, obviously. He was also on Days of Our Lives for about 6 years in the 70s to, I believe, the early 80s. Let me see here. Yes, 1974 to 1981, he was on Days of Our Lives. However, I will add that Wesley later suggested that gambit with only using his first name, in addition to not launching him to the heights he had hoped, he believes it actually hurt his career considerably because people didn't associate his full name with Land of the Lost, which was his most prominent thing.
Right. It's like in Peep Show where they say they're going to name their band Various Artists.
So that's great, you're in a band. What's it called?
Right now we're called Various Artists, just to fuck over people with iPods. We think it'll set us back 2 or 3 years, which is cool.
And I also saw that he filmed a cameo in the 2009 Land of the Lost movie starring Will Ferrell, and it was cut. He did not appear. He couldn't even get in the movie.
Damn.
And he also, although it was sort of perhaps whispered about at the time, but it was not public knowledge until 2009 when he came out as gay. Wesley is gay, and he, upon coming out, speculated that he thinks the fact that he was gay contributed to his firing from Days of Our Lives. He, in the 70s, in the mid-70s, he had a relationship with what leading man of British origin?
Sir Laurence Olivier.
We've talked about him on this show, though we
Richard Harris.
No, we haven't done one of his movies, but we've done a movie in which a different actor from the UK portrays the same character he once did in a different movie.
Different actor? No, sorry.
That's right, it's Richard Chamberlain, Alan Quatermain himself, in the terrible 1980s Quatermain films.
Yeah, well.
Daringly reportrayed by Sir Sean Connery in...
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I'm glad I didn't keep trying. I was not close. I was never going to get to Richard Chamberlain.
It's always funny when you realize that. It's like, oh, that would have gone on all night. That would have gone on forever.
Yeah.
So yes, Richard Chamberlain. He was in a relationship with Wesley Eure in around 75, 76.
How old are they compared with each other's? Mm-hmm.
So he would have been in his early 40s, right around there.
Mm-hmm.
And Wesley is... Are you trying to cancel a dead Richard Chamberlain? Is that what
I'm just curious about when they met.
And Wesley would have been about 24 at the time.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fine. Because I assume he was like a kid, right, on Land of the Lost, and that was not so long before.
He's an adult.
Okay.
He's an adult man.
Even more ridiculous to try and launch him as Wesley once you're an adult. It's one thing for a kid to be just Wesley. Imagine if I was just like, oh, I'm just Kevin. And it's just like, and Kevin. Like, that's not going to catch on in your opening.
Yeah. Wesley is a slightly less typical name than Kevin. To my chagrin, I think it's a better name. Anyways, maybe I'm biased. So there were 195 episodes of Finders Keepers, 130 of them on Nickelodeon. Then it was spun off into syndication. Fox picked it up, and there were 65 more new Fox-produced episodes. Fox was not interested in bringing Wesley back to host for them. They got a new host.
Yes, you're not going to be surprised who didn't show back up. He's very insecure and low energy, and just sort of feels oddly out of place in this.
Now here's the host of Finders Keepers, the man with the puzzling personality, Wesley Eure.
Thank you, Joe. Welcome to Finders Keepers, the show where you can be the best if you make the biggest mess.
Let's not jump the gun. First of all, don't be mean to Wesley.
Oh, sorry.
When you watch him in this, you're like, I do feel bad about criticizing him because he knows he's bad at this. Like, the energy he's bringing to this is really like, I'm sure hosting one of these shows is hard, but you watch this, and this is, something that people laugh, the most farcical example of this is when you go to a Giants game, you're like, I could hit that pitch. Right. These little league dads who think that, if only I could get out there, I could hit these free throws. Free throws a bad example. There are a lot of schlubs who can hit free throws. But
not after having run the court for, 5 minutes as hard as they can.
Sure. But I watched this and I'm like, no, I could roll out of bed right now and do this. Like, 2 hours of prep, I'm a better Finders Keepers host than Wesley is here. Stipulating that maybe everything was super disorganized with the crew and all the other stages of production. Yeah. But this is the same studio and the same setup as Double Dare. It's being filmed in the exact same place, presumably has the same crew working it. That would be my guess.
Not the same producers. I feel like he always seems like they haven't told him anything and he's just kind of winging it and kind of guessing what the show's about half the time, it feels like. He doesn't feel like he's got a real solid grasp of this is what the show is. I don't mean that he doesn't know if they're going to go through the rooms or whatever. That he's like, what am I bringing? What is Finders Keepers? And I think he's gotten vague direction. And,
I agree with you, which is why I think periodically he gets really animated and starts yelling, "This is Finders Keepers," because he's trying to convince himself as much as it feels like he sees something that he thinks works, and he's like, this is Finders Keepers.
No, this is what a Finders Keepers thing is.
More to search. They're looking through everything. All right. They're going through this. Remember, this is Finders Keepers. You can do anything you want to.
This was taped at WHYY-TV in Philadelphia, same soundstage as Double Dare. This is perhaps not surprising, given the nearly identical color-coded TV show logo shirts the kids wear. The set they have for the quiz portion, which really just looks like they put new gels behind the Double Dare quiz set, and obviously did not put as much work into making fun signage. And the presence of the narrator, Harvey, beloved Harvey. He's in this.
Weirdly, his last name.
I don't remember it, but...
No, I'm saying his last name is Harvey. His first name is something.
Okay. My mistake. He is known as Harvey. That's what we call. That's what we all call him.
Yeah. And he's a 6-foot rabbit.
There were 2 international versions of this show. Did you know that?
I read this on Wikipedia.
Okay. So I cannot surprise you by pointing out that the Brazilian version was hosted by...
Xuxa.
Yes, Xuxa.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that. Yes, It was Xuxa. Yeah. Your beloved Xuxa. Yes. The woman of your dreams. Sadly born too late to wed Xuxa, as you were fated to do.
That's sad.
Yes. So this show, it's a little strange that it got spun off into 2 countries, because it's not like... It's neither well executed, nor do you watch it and you think, well, if everything were firing on all cylinders, this would be dynamite.
No.
It is interesting in that when you watch it here, you're like, they're grasping at the threads of successful premises, because they're clearly like, what if Double Dare and also this thing that would ultimately lead to Legends of the Hidden Temple, where we are running around this cross-cut set behind the stage. And the audience gets to watch this mad dash. They're wrecking. It's not like Legends of the Hidden Temple in that it's... Well, I don't know. Is it much easier? I'll tell you what makes it not as easy is that when you get to each... It's 6 rooms, and each one you have to wait for Wesley to read the fucking clue. And he can't... He's, so addled that, you'll get to the room, it'll be 5 seconds before he's told you the clue you need to know to move on.
Yes, yeah.
His incompetence is an anchor around these kids' necks at so many junctures of this show.
Yeah, the kids aren't so good, but it is far a far cry from Nick Arcade, where it's like, okay, just the children are the problem here. It's like, no, there's plenty of blame to go around.
Yeah. And I feel like Wesley knows that he's doing the kids wrong, because then when they're looking for things, at points he will directly tell them, no, it's over there, look over there. He'll really aggressively steer them to the thing, which I think is because he is self-conscious about the fact that his inability to, like, adequately explain things is worsening their performance.
Yeah.
What else do I have here on the show? Oh, Converse, a sponsor of the show, which is why every contestant and Wesley himself wears a pair of Chucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched this a lot on Nickelodeon as a very little kid. At the time, I liked it more than Double Dare.
It's like how you liked Godzilla, the 98 Godzilla, more than Jurassic Park. Which do you think is a more egregious opinion in retrospect?
Jurassic Park, it's not my favorite movie, but it is clearly for that kind of... I'll put it this way, it's the best dinosaur movie they've ever made. It's the best Jurassic Park movie they ever made. The second they tried to make another one, you were in a death spiral that has somehow managed to sustain itself for, 10 movies now? How many of these fucking things have they made? And they still make an insane amount of money, each one that comes out.
Yeah.
But no, that's the more egregious opinion. But by the way, I'm recording this from the Finders Keepers set.
As you say, yes.
They're reviving the show. Everyone is working very hard to not move back here, because I told them it needs to look like it's a still zoom background due to aesthetic integrity.
Right. Yeah. No, you can see them every once in a while, though. This set inspired a different Wesley Anderson. Wes Anderson saw this set and was like, you know what? I'm going to put one of those in every one of my movies, starting with Life Aquatic.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is why you've zeroed in on exactly why I liked this better than Double Dare. Like, Double Dare, obviously, the notion of what is the thing we have them do to get to the fun action that is distinct. General knowledge and trivia is a much better idea than let's look at this poorly drawn picture and have you circle the hidden puzzle when we read the clue out. Mm-hmm. And presumably they're all looking at the puzzle the whole time, even between him asking these questions, so instantly these kids have spotted every little thing. So they don't have to wait to hear the whole clue. At one point, one of them knows it's like a 50-50 jump ball, and they just buzz immediately and guess, and they hit on that. It's like, that was the right call. These kids are coming in hot. But, frankly, this show would have been much improved if it had just done the same thing as Double Dare and been like, we're doing general knowledge and trivia questions. Yeah. That's how you get your points. It doesn't need to be anything more than that. The thing people remember about the show is the thing that isn't that. No one thinks of Double Dare as the trivia show for kids. They think of it as the physical challenges, the gross out stuff, like sticking his hand up his nose, the big nose. Yeah. But for this, I think my guess is that self-consciously they didn't want to do that because they didn't want to be too Double Dare.
Right.
And the consequence of that is they have this absolutely interminable thing where it's like, what is Finders Keepers? Well, it's all about finding things that are hidden. Mm-hmm. Therefore, here's like a doodle of something, and each of them
terrible
has
doodle.
A terrible doodle. Each of them have kind of tortured names.
Yes, and tortured like understanding, like the one of the ballerinas was the worst, I thought, where it was like a lesson hard won or something, and they're all lined up.
Yeah, a lesson hard learned.
Okay, that's pretty close. And they're all lined up at the bar, but one of them looks in the mirror and she's fallen over, but she's doing like some releve whatever, and the host Wesley explains to us, she sees that in the future she will fall down. And I don't think that's what that means. I don't know. I think maybe it's the opposite, that she's like, remember when I was younger and worse at this, and now I'm doing great. Yeah. This was a hard won lesson I learned.
I'd really love to know who drew these and whether they are bespoke for finders keepers or whether these are like, you know,
rejected
like
New Yorker cartoons.
They're little cartoons that you like buy from the equivalent of like Shutterstock today. It's just some archive of production cartoons. Right. Because his explanation of that does not make a ton of sense, and it feels like so much of his performance in this, like he's kind of just trying to figure it out on the fly.
Yes.
There were points in this where I seriously thought, oh, is he... I'll get to the specific one later, but I thought, is he, like, smoking a joint before filming the show?
Okay.
Because there's all these little moments in it where I watch him say something to the kids, or it feels like I can see the gears in his head turning. And I'm like, this could be someone who is hyper anxious about hosting this show and is getting high beforehand, and that is then contributing to this thing where, like, he can't just glide over a flub. He has to, like, it grips him and he has to acknowledge it somehow. Yeah. At one point he says, like, well, that goes to show you, sometimes we do make mistakes here on Finders Keepers. It's like, you don't say.
He said we always make mistakes on Finders Keepers.
Is that the right one? No, I don't think it is, so I'm going to read it again. All right, see, we always make mistakes on Finders Keepers.
It was like to paper over, oh, don't worry about it, we always make mistakes here, when they got the guess wrong. The judges, like, aren't even watching. Seemingly in that moment.
Yeah, he's gesturing to the judges, to the booth, desperate. You've left me here out, hung me out to dry. Yeah. Tell me if it's the right answer.
Yeah. But they when he first comes out in the first episode we watched, they say, and now, we'll have our guests, our players, figure out the puzzles, and now the man with the puzzling personality. I was like, truer words seldom spoken.
Yeah. So obviously, you put a steady hand like Mark Summers in charge of this. Maybe it works a little better. I dare say he would at least know the answers to the questions, but.
Plus, he can, when he opens the door to go onto the set, he can say, "Honey, I'm home." And then everyone can say it along with him. 3 or 4 or 5, 6 times.
He could even make them do that. Although it is notable that, Wesley, although we didn't know it at the time, a gay man hosting this show, whereas Mark Summers made homophobic jokes on Double Dare, at least one. You remember we saw that episode. He's wearing a beret, I think, in like some French thing, and then he's just randomly like, I look like a homosexual. Like it is as blunt and weird as the Rainier Wolfcastle thing. You remember this?
I do. I'd forgotten all about it, but you're totally right.
I cannot find that anywhere. I can't find anyone talking about it. I'm wondering if it's been taken down because it was a little too funny. But so Mark Summers perhaps indulging in some of the homophobia of the times, and Wesley at this point was forced to live as a closeted gay man under the bright lights of, I guess this isn't Hollywood, this is Pennsylvania children's game show, but you take my point.
Sure.
Given that fact, do we, for reasons of woke, do we have to sort of say that Wesley is a better host than Mark? Should we stake that out as our position on this show?
I feel pretty comfortable. I think the real equality is if we can judge him by his acts.
There we go.
It's like the when they're like, oh, well, maybe you didn't think about this Pete Buttigieg dance, but you can do it even in a wheelchair. And it's like, well, I've seen some very good dancers in wheelchairs. That's you are being less woke by pointing that out. He is the beating heart of this rickety thing. It's like the end of Howl's Moving Castle, where like the whole castle is falling apart, and all we have is like a platform and like 2 legs. And he's whatever magic is holding that much together. And you don't feel like he's doing the best anyone could. But who else is there? There's no one else doing anything. He's just flailing about, and they're watching him drown.
I think that is the thing. The moment I should say, we only watched 2 episodes of this show. Maybe he was just off his game both of those episodes.
Maybe.
It's not impossible. Maybe. Maybe if we watched episode 120 he did, it would have been a little smoother than whichever episodes these were. There is not a definitive, complete record of all the episodes of this. It seems like some of the episodes are lost to time. As a result, we can't tell you exactly what season or episode numbers these are, except to say that they are Wesley Eure episodes, and the set looks the same. So these are both Nickelodeon run episodes.
For sure. And I think it's Harvey on both, and Harvey gets replaced.
Okay, yeah. Imagine replacing Harvey. The man's an icon.
I bet that he was like, I'm a little busy. I can't do Finders Keepers for my $7.20 an hour anymore.
Yeah, he when Wesley, in the second episode we watched, when there is that moment where one of the kids guesses something in the puzzle, and there's a frayed moment of confusion, because clearly it seems like the judges maybe even tell him that's right.
Yeah, they do.
And then he's like, no, it can't be.
All right, it's worth $75. Here's the first clue. It's a funky mission. Oscar was cute as a what, or do what to your lip? Cute. Red team.
Whistle.
Whistle is is that correct? No. That is incorrect. Judges? That's not the answer, though. Did you circle the whistle? Yes. It's a whistle, or is that...
And, in that moment, I'm like, you know what? You're not doing a good job, but god damn it, you're the only man standing at the front of the ship with your hand on the captain's wheel. Yeah. Everyone else is drunk below decks, and you're just white-knuckling it the whole way.
Yeah, no, the judges, the clue was, cute as a blank, or blank your lip. And they circle a whistle, and they're like, whistle. And he's like, no. And they're like, judges are like, ding. He's like, no, it can't. It can't be. He doesn't say it can't be whistle your lip. It can't be cute as a whistle. And what they circle, I think, is like a cassette tape. It's like none of it is correct, and they're just like, yeah, give it to him. No, what are we doing here? If we put out a show where cute as a whistle is the alleged answer to our clue. Such terrible clues, such ugly pictures. I assume
such ugly children.
Ugly children. Well, there's that one mullet, which
no, that is that is incredible. Her hair.
She says that she wants to go to cosmetology school. She likes doing people's hair and that. And he says, did you do your hair? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, I like it. And the audience, I guess, laughs because he's like, I do.
And we got Jackie, who wants to be a what?
Cosmetologist, because I like doing people's makeup and their hair and everything.
Did you do your hair for today's show?
Yeah.
It looks good. I like it. All right, let's get back to the hidden picture. Well, I do like it.
Very defensive.
The thing is that he reacts that way, but I don't hear any laughter, and you do hear audience reaction sounds at other points, which made me think that maybe he's feigning someone said something because he wants to stunt on her hair a little bit.
I don't think so.
That made him seem it made him seem less sincere to me in that moment. But I grant you, we don't know.
We don't know. I assume a lot of that stuff is juiced. I was shocked when the audience sound. I was shocked when I was a kid. We went to see the taping of a Wheel of Fortune, and I was all set to yell out "Wheel of Fortune" as they do at the beginning of each episode. Turns out that is recorded in advance. You don't get to do it. And then I was like, it does sound the same every time, I guess.
It does. Yeah. Did you see it at the Palace of Fine Arts in San Francisco?
I did not. I was in LA.
It blew my mind when I found out they did Wheel of Fortune in that theater at the Palace of Fine Arts. Because I'd be over at my grandma's house. She doesn't really do anything but watch insipid game shows. So she'd put on Wheel of Fortune. They'd be like, we're coming to you live from the San Francisco Palace of Fine Arts. I'd be like, what do you mean? That's less than a mile from here. I could be in that room right now. I could be spinning the wheel. I could go bankrupt.
Woo!
Yes, but no, that's a more successful show than the one we're here to discuss today. So, we've already told you what the setup sequence of this show is, where they're looking at pictures and trying to guess. They or given a clue, there's like a sub-drawing. There's little drawings hidden in the big drawing. You circle it and then say what it is. You get points, you get money. Wesley, when he's introducing this concept, he says, let's go over the rules real quickly. In our hidden pictures round, being the first to correctly circle what's hidden will get you $25 and earn you the right to search a room. And if you find that object, we'll give you $50. Him saying bucks instead of dollars already right off the bat is giving this, like, it already feels like it's a little too much of a casual energy. I don't know why that struck me. Maybe it's just how he is. But right off the bat, I was like, ooh, okay, let's, stiff upper lip, Wesley. Let's,
Yeah. But, well, it makes it sound less impressive. And suddenly you're like, yeah, $25. It's like, okay. I just won't answer your little question. I don't want $25 to jump through your hoops.
It shouldn't be bucks. It should just be points. The $25 even in the 80s, it's like that doesn't sound impressive enough. It should just be points, and then it gets converted to dollars right at the end once you've got a few hundred saved up.
Yeah.
So, as he said in that description, if you get the questions right, you get the clues right, you win the right to go through a certain room on the enormous, pictured behind me, Finders Keepers set. This is a large set in the shape of a house with all these rooms. Very Wes Anderson-esque, as Kevin alluded to earlier. This is what I really loved about the show. I loved the house. I loved how the different rooms looked. Maybe part of it was I was like, I wish I lived in a house and not this terrible small apartment. Maybe class was playing a role here for me. But I also... It's a similar thing to like when I would go to Disneyland as a kid. The rides I liked the best was not Space Mountain. It was the Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean, where it's not like dynamic, like you're roaring through it, but it's the act of like seeing all these little things that were placed with such intentionality to make this like false world. And for some reason, when I was a kid, that was like the thing that was most fascinating and exciting to me, was just seeing all these things, these tableaus. Yeah. And so that's probably why I was so hooked on like getting to see the weird rooms in the Finders Keepers house.
Yeah, but it's just a bunch of shit piled up. It's not. It does not feel like it's done. It's not exactly Pirates of the Caribbean. That's all I'm saying.
Well, in fairness, when I was making this observation, I had not yet been to Disneyland. This is me sort of backfilling why I liked this based on experiences I had later with better things. Going to Disneyland better than watching Finders Keepers for a child. Okay. But
not for an adult.
No, for an adult, you want to see Wesley cook. So once you get in the house, it's the same deal where he reads a clue to you, and now you have to find the object he's alluding to in the room somewhere. One detail about this is that apparently he claims everything in the Finders Keepers house you can break open, and like it breaks apart, and it could be hidden anywhere. He never tells them this ahead of time. He only tells them this after, by chastising them for not having broken everything. He's like, what are you doing? You can smash this open. Everything breaks on Finders Keepers. It's like, well, Wesley, the only person here who could have told them that was you. And you didn't. Yeah. You didn't tell them that, so you fucked them over. Yeah. Nobody else.
Again, do you think the producers are doing their job? You know they aren't. Yeah. Surely that would be their job, is to be like, we want you to trash these rooms in order to find things. They never... Yeah, he only tells them that afterward. But, I mean, even after he does, it's not like they do it. Most of the kids are, like, just well-behaved. They don't want to break stuff. They don't want it. Like, one kid takes a plate that's breakable off the shelf, looks under it, looking for a stack of 45s, which would not be underneath a plate, and then sets it gently back on the shelf, like set up for display.
That's the best one, because that's after Wesley has already scolded them for not breaking stuff, and he's so angry watching them slowly walk around. He's like, what are you doing? Come on! Yeah.
And the number of times that both kids are looking in the same place, it's like they've never been taught how to look for anything. They don't understand the fun of breaking the room, and they are used to... Oh, somebody else is looking for something. I'll like pretend to help. Like mom's looking for something. I'll kind of hover nearby. It's like, that's not this game. You don't get to hover nearby. No points for assists.
These are people who, when they get older, are very good at pretending to help people move.
Mm-hmm.
When there's 6 people helping you move, and look, I don't do this. I work hard when I'm moving. Last time I moved recently, there was no one there to help me. I moved about 1.2 tons of furniture by myself. Mm-hmm. I am happy to say that my back finally feels basically back to normal. But, if you want to not be really exerting yourself while moving, it's easy. You take the smallest stuff, and when you're walking, when people are coming and going both directions, you loaf when no one's watching you. When you load it on, you take a good long time walking back. You can reduce the amount of raw stuff you carry 20 to 30% just by strategically bleeding away seconds here, seconds there.
Yes. And these kids will be that, or probably already have lived through that.
They're probably
fake hustle.
They're probably all old enough now that they wouldn't try to move to it. They're probably all in hire a mover territory. When I was moving this time, I was like, maybe I should hire a mover next time. And I was like, well, I know how long it's going to be before I move again. I'm not really going to want to spend that money then.
Yeah.
So, yes, the first episode, we have the red team versus the blue team. This will be true of every episode.
Classic.
Yeah, classic stuff. Red versus blue. It's sort of prescient, given where our country is at right now.
Wow. Makes you think.
So, red team, we have Mike and Jackie. Jackie is the one who, as you said, has like a blown-out mullet. It is incredible hair. She looks amazing. She also seems she's like taller and bigger than a lot of the other kids, and she seems somewhere between awkward and like eye-rolling at Wesley's antics. She is the one who I think does the most just sort of exasperated sighing, but you can't really tell if it's that she's embarrassed or nervous to be on TV, or if it is like, I don't like this Wesley guy's energy. It's a little unclear.
Yeah, she's got a lot of nervous stuff going on, though. She's like pinching her jeans at one point while he's explaining things, and then he's like, all right, so then what happens next? Like, you explain the rules to me kind of thing. Puts the mic in front of her, and she's just like, we go in each room. And it's like, she's clearly like a loud person generally. You can tell that she's like, but now she's being asked, and she just like clams up.
This is not the hair that is electively picked by a shrinking violet.
Exactly.
This is the hair that is picked by the brash life of the party. And then she is accompanied by Mike, who is the kid I think I have the least memory of. And then you have the blue team, which is Ginger and Dwight.
And on our blue team today, we have Ginger. Ginger, you play different kinds of instruments?
Yes, I play 3 instruments in the Glennie Bedford Band, 2 bands, and I'm also on All-State.
Good for you. Welcome to the show. And on Dwight, you have a strange collection, don't you, Dwight? What's this?
I have a hat every day.
You wear different hats every day?
Yep.
Baseball hats?
Yep.
What's your favorite?
Well, the one I got now is like blue and red. Has on the top for stall.
Wow, good for you. All right.
Ginger's going to be involved in a number of false starts throughout this episode.
Yeah.
And Dwight has the distinction of being the only kid who maxes out on, everything in this house is breakable. I'm going to rip the door off this cabinet. One of these rooms, he absolutely goes ape shit on.
Yeah.
He
also helps hold Ginger back at times. Like the Wesley is putting hands on her, which I already don't think he should be, and then Dwight's joining in.
So the first puzzle we get in the puzzle phase is a picture of a fat ball player. I would say probably a Cincinnati Red, based on the uniform. He's got the pillbox flat top hat. It is red. He's got red socks. And he is mid-strikeout swing. Wesley tells us that this picture is titled The Mighty Casey Meets Dr. K, who he then, I would say, nervously explains is Doc Gooden of the New York Mets. That's Dr. K.
Fear, it is said, locks up your heart, and laughter is... Blue team.
The key?
Laughter is the key that opens it. That's why we like it on Finders Keepers, a tie score. Each team has $25. Both teams have earned so far the right to search one room, and now we're going to be playing for the right to search the pastry room.
I also wondered, like, how big of a circle can I make? Because if you know the answer is mouth, can you just kind of, like, circle the whole... There's no... It doesn't say, like, only circle this thing. Just say mouth and do a circle that encompasses it.
Yeah, some of them are very, like... The circle is barely containing the edge of the correct clue, and they get it. But it is the same thing as when you're filling out a CAPTCHA. You're like, where does a bike end and where does it begin?
Yes.
I mean, I can see the very barest sliver of a tire here. Is that a bike? Is it a bike?
Yeah.
But
maybe it's sharper on their little telestrator screens.
I would hope.
I would hope.
So then the next one I don't have the clue for, but there's a catcher behind the batter, and it's a flashlight that is drawn into his left leg protector.
Yeah,
but
the clue I wrote down, which is an individual beam of light. And I was like, that's not... What? It emits an individual beam of light, whatever that means. But also you're using the word light, and it's a flashlight. All these clues are so bad and so inconsistent.
Yeah. They seem like they were written by Wesley 10 minutes before the show. He knows the answer, and he's got to come up with what the question is, or the clue.
There's one later on that's...
Here you go. Here's the clue. Dad hid everything in the cigar box.
That's for when they're searching things, and it's like you have to find a cigar box. But I was like, that's not a clue. What are you talking about? That's deranged. What are you saying?
I wrote it down. That one was the one where I was like, this feels a little sinister. What did Dad hide in his cigar box? Why did he put it there? Everything. He hid those photos that no one must find.
Yeah, love letters.
Yeah.
And it's not from Mom.
So, but here's, again, we're digging kind of deep on the...
Sorry, yeah.
You watch one of these game shows, you know, we're not trying to be cruel. We're not trying to... We believe in building up, not tearing down. But as we now see in our country today, it is so much easier and more fun to tear down. It's a lot of hard work to convince people to build up, but the tearing down, oh boy, it goes so fast, and it's so exhilarating. So, the flashlight is drawn on the catcher's left leg protector. The left leg protector is close enough visually to the right leg protector that if you have the clue for the left leg protector, any kid who circles that has already spotted the very apparent key drawn into the right leg protector. So now we have another problem here. Every one of these things should be hidden far enough away from the other that a kid isn't going to clock another one while they're circling one of them, because now the kid is ahead of the game.
Right.
And this is happening constantly now. The second they start even referencing something about locks or keys, they buzz in. They've already seen it. And this is not the first time this kind of, I would call this Wesley's folly, is the term I will use to describe this phenomenon. It's not the first time this happens, nor the last.
Yeah, I think you just need a picture with more hidden things. Because if you're like, there's 5 clues and 5 hidden things, you've found them all by the time you've gotten to the 5th question. And you just need it to be that there's some false positives. But then they can't handle that because he just feels so awkward when the kids give him the wrong answer. He clearly just wants to die and wishes it were all over. He could be at home. He wishes he were in the land of the lost, where there are only, I don't know, slee stacks or whatever to shame him.
Yeah. So once they've navigated this clue section, they get to go into the house. You go to different rooms based on which clues you got right. Something I did notice, though, is that after the first 2 clue sections, Wesley then pivots to interviewing the kids about their, like, personal anecdote. Yeah. And it feels like he just forgot to do that at the top of the show. Because this feels totally out of place. Like, it feels like he wasn't expecting to do this. He looks a little rattled as he pivots to it. And he's like, what do you want to do? Oh, you want to be a cosmetologist. I like your hair. I really do like your hair. he excruciating trying to get Dwight to describe his favorite hat. What's your thing? Well, I have a lot of hats. Oh, what's your favorite hat? The one I have now. Great, thanks, Dwight.
Yeah, but the little boy who you remember least is the worst.
Yes, he says, I stay after school to help my 5th grade teacher clean up. And Wesley's like, every day? He's like, yeah. And you know what this reminded me of?
What?
The immortal Simpsons headline, Prez says school is for losers. Sorry, kid. You are a stone cold loser.
I mean, it's probably you're a loser if you're doing this. You're certainly a loser if this is your fun fact. This is all I got. I sometimes stay after school to hang out with, I assume, the cute teacher. But whatever it is, why? And he said, like, yeah, the 5th grade teacher. I guess he did say my 5th grade teacher, but it felt weird to be like, well, why are you naming like the year anyway? But
so you think this kid has a crush on his teacher?
That I hope so.
That's the only That's
the only reason you should be. Yeah. And then later they're like, oh, well, you'll be good at this because you're good at cleaning up. It's like, no, no one will be good at this because none of these children has ever broken a dish, even by accident, in their lives.
So we get into, I believe, is it the pastry room first?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think that's first, but they do the pastry room. He's like, oh, that's our messiest room.
This is the messiest room we have. And it looks like they do have some real cakes and confections in there.
Yeah.
And we referenced this earlier, Ginger and Dwight's team. Every single moment Ginger enters a room, Wesley is like grabbing her or jerking her around because she's like amped up and ready to go.
All right, Dwight and Ginger. Wait, get over here. Stand over here. These floors are slippery. Now be careful. Here we go. Smells good, doesn't it?
Yep.
All right, see if you can eat your way through this room. Would you relax?
Calm down.
Yeah.
So, like, when they enter the pastry room, he's like, what are you doing? Don't look at my card.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's reading his card over his shoulder. You know what? Hold your card up. You know, whose fault is it? Is it the fault of the guy who sits in front of the mirror when he's playing poker? Or is the fault of the person who sees that or the person who sat there? It's a card. It's not that hard.
Well, and but all these rooms are 4 foot square, so like it is hard to not be seen because there's nowhere to go. They're like, you know, they put a ton of shit in these rooms, but they're so tiny. And then the host is in the room with them. That's a mistake. There's not enough room for you to be like, you know, if there's only like 4 places to stand, one of those can't be taken up by a guy.
But that is to the benefit of the player if they have the savvy to deduce it, because you know he won't be standing in the way of the thing.
That's true.
So that helps orient you towards where it is. But Ginger also, the way this works is he reads the clue, and then she starts going, and he's like, hold on, it's not time yet.
Here's the clue. To cook with this oil would be totally dumb. It's the stuff that makes your engine hum. Wait a second. I'm gonna have to hold this good. Ready to go?
Yeah. But here's the thing. Obviously, the 4th time this happens, that's all on Ginger. But every single one of these times, I'm like, no, part of the problem here is you are reading the clue, and then you're doing a pregnant pause for nothing.
Right.
You're like, here's the clue, and then you're like this, and then she starts taking up. You're like, what are you doing? Come back. Yeah. And all he's waiting to say is, okay, are you ready? Go. Like,
right. Yeah.
The go should be the minute the last word is out of my mouth. That is the natural flow of this. Ginger is on competent game show time.
Yes.
But everything has to slow down for Wesley to awkwardly pause. He really, I haven't seen Land of the Lost. His ability to communicate and talk contemporaneously to these kids and just generally is not strong. There's points at which I wondered if he's maybe like a little dyslexic, because he's misreading things off his cards a lot. There's a lot of sequences in this where he gives off on cinema Tim energy and some of his. At one point, he's trying to say finders keepers, and he says finders keynote, and he just keeps going.
Didn't catch that.
That's in the 2nd episode. So it's all congealing into this nervous, unstable energy where, like, if you're the kids, you know, okay, this guy doesn't really know how the game works. Mm-hmm. So I'm in trouble.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you know, mom and dad don't know how to take care of things. I'm going to have to do it. But it's the host of this show. So she's like, okay, well, he finished the clue. I'm going to go look for it. He doesn't say, on my mark, you know? Yeah. Or he doesn't. I agree that he should just read it. You know, it's dad hid all his porn in the cigar boxes. Go. That needs to be the next thing. Not. And then they're like, "What? Should I just be waiting and just looking at you for some movement?
Well,
like you've come set, and I have to like wait until you start pitching.
You have to make eye contact at 8 seconds. You have to be ready. No, the other thing I considered is this a contrivance? Has this reaction between them been coached to try to gin up like interest? Mm-hmm. Because of the fact that it feels like he's pausing so hard to let her do it. Like, is this something that's been worked out? I don't think it is, because she just doesn't have the energy of someone who's controllable in that way. I think it is just that Wesley does not know how to host a show. Yeah. And every time he does this, it's not like when you're practiced at something. Like us doing this show, we do the intro, we do the outro. When I do my radio show, like, at this point, not just the words of the outro to my radio show, Night Harbor on Radio Sausalito, check it out online. Yeah. It's not just the words I'm repeating, the cadence and up and down of how I say it is almost exactly the same every time. Because I've done 100, I haven't done as many episodes, I will soon have done as many episodes as Wesley did of Finders Keepers. I think I'm at 126 now.
Okay, damn.
But for him, it's like, no, everything I say and every time I explain how the game works, this is a new expression. Yeah. This is a new thing I'm having to do. I'm not able to fall back. There's no like backup copy. I'm not save asing. I'm just saving on top of the same one each time, and then it's gone.
Yeah. Yes.
And so
I was always irritated with the Drew Carey, whose line said anyway, that he'd be like, everything's made up and the points don't matter. But like, you need those things that you say so that people understand what the hell's going on. If they've just shown up and you can say it real quick, it encapsulates everything, and we move on instead of it being like, so you're going to be looking for things. There's things around the room, and you need to find them. Also, infuriating just from the intro. The intro says, Finders Keepers, the game show where what you find, you keep. Absolutely untrue. They're never keeping grilled cheese sandwiches or steel wool. Those are not the prizes.
Right. Yeah, the first thing they find is a grilled cheese sandwich, it's a pun, like a gorilla cheese sandwich, which we then used in our feature film years later. Grab a gorilla'd cheese sandwich. I still have that little sign from when I moved out of the former Now We Know studios.
Do you think that on some level it was seeded by this show?
No, I wasn't even in charge of designing the menu stuff for that. I had no role in it, so it couldn't have been. Unless Sean Sterling, friend of the show, was also watching Finders Keepers, which maybe he was. And then for the pastry room, this first episode we watched, about half of these they find within 2 seconds.
Find it! All right, for $50 she can find it. She found it!
And this again, when he's doing the clue, Ginger reacts physically, and he's like, "What's going on? Do you already know it? Did you read my card?"
Yeah.
But it's like, well, surely your card doesn't say where it is, right?
Yeah.
But then once it's go time, she runs over and grabs it instantly, and I'm like, is this a work? Did they tell her where it is? Because I don't know how else she would have beelined right to that spot. Like,
yeah, she does it, but maybe it's like poking out or something. Maybe they do that at first, but there's definitely a moment in the first episode where they're looking, and you see the handheld camera operator stick his finger in the frame and point to where the grilled cheese sandwich is. Yeah. That's the first one. And I was like, that's your hand. You can't just put your hand in there and point. We have to redo this. Go to a different room.
Yeah, so it's clear that they are very aware, and this is a problem with Finders Keepers. The excitement from it comes from ripping apart the house and looking for the thing. That is where the fun is supposed to come in. That is, this show's version of sticking your hand up the big nose in Double Dare,
Yeah.
or falling in the vat of spoiled beans. The version of that in this is, look at this house, look at this room in this house that maybe, not really, but maybe looks like a room in a house you've been in someday. Wouldn't it be sick to just rip it all apart looking for this ping pong paddle?
Yeah.
But that's not reliable because it depends on the personality and the approach of these kids. But you can tell there's a real insecurity about the idea, if these kids don't find the thing, this show is nothing.
Right.
We have to make sure they find the thing.
Yeah.
So I think,
but also tear it apart. But you're gonna make a mess and not be able to see the thing.
Yeah.
Again, because the room is so small, once you kind of do have to take things off gently to place them elsewhere. And what was the other one that I wrote down was the they try and do like in the first room, it's Tarzan's room, and they just start chucking bananas at them as they're like grabbing stuff. Like if you want this much chaos, you have to give them more time, ideally more space too, but certainly more time to get through all of this. You can't just be like, tear apart the room as quick as you can and find something, and we're gonna throw things at you. Yeah. The worst one, the one that was like the fastest and made the least sense to me, that did feel like, maybe they had prepped her or she just watched them do it, was the Lee press-on nails. She not only found them immediately, but they were like in goo. They were like in like some.
This is so revolting. So revolting. It's the clue was when Betty Boop wants nails, she always has these right in hand, and they're press-on nails, but they look like, because it was low quality, it looked to me almost like, well, these are hacked off fingertips that have been shoved in some sort of like the what's the name of the goo in Dungeons and Dragons, the gelatinous cube. This is a chunk of gelatinous cube.
And they are just like rubber fingers. They're not Lee press-on nails actually, but she says they are. It's disgusting, but also it doesn't feel like in theme. Well, anytime like they want it to have that Double Dare juice, but it's like, well, now there's just some goo in a in a drawer in this room with fingers in it.
It wasn't a drawer. That was the moon room, and that was inside one of the little holes in the meteorite that was sitting on the moon.
Okay, that's a little more on theme. You're right.
The Tarzan room is where they got the grilled cheese sandwich. When narrator Harvey is introducing this house run, he says, "Let's take a look at our rooms," and I think he says that are doomed. I couldn't figure out what he said besides doomed. And I think he's saying that because one of them is the tower, which is like a torture dungeon themed room. He says, "We'll get tortured in the tower, take a swing around the jungle with Tarzan and Jane, and take a pie in the face in the pastry shop." I don't think nowadays you could say we're going to torture these kids in the tower. There's not much to do in the tower. The tower is another one of them where it's like it's just sitting in the fireplace and it's over in 2 seconds, literally 2 seconds.
Yeah, because it has to be like rough edges of like stone, pseudo stone, so there's nowhere to hide stuff inside the pseudo stone. The pastry room they say is the messiest, and they make no mess. That's another one. She grabs it immediately, like Dwight or whatever. I think grabs like gets a little bit of whipped cream on him, but there's no time. They do not look in the cakes. He gets
like cream all over his hands, and Wesley's like, "It's okay, you can lick it off. That's real." So Dwight does, and then Ginger leans over and sucks his finger.
Right away, Ginger, you did really well. And look at you. You can lick your fingers. This is good stuff. How's it taste?
Pretty good.
Did you not notice that?
No,
she goes in and sucks his finger, and he's like, "What?"
Wow, damn.
Yeah.
Do I suck the finger?
The answer for Ginger, yes.
Big yes.
And hey, look, she's fired up. She's firing on all cylinders. Like, if this were an adult, you'd be like, well, she did a line before starting this. Obviously, she wants to taste of that sweet cream on that fella's finger. But presumably that's not what happened here. If there was anyone who was on anything during this, I think it was Wesley.
Yeah, so, it wasn't an upper.
It was no. I don't know. I theorized he might have just been like smoking weed, and weed is technically a stimulant, although that is not its reputation.
That's certainly not the impact on your affect.
Yeah.
It was not an upper in the sense of what we are getting. I also liked the Toys R Us ad placement that said, "You'll never outgrow us." I was like, we've all outgrown you. You died long before any of us could.
Yeah. So here's something nice I'll say about Finders Keepers. The reveal of the house is great. Yes. Because it pulls back and the quiz show, like Double Dare style set, splits in the middle, pulls apart, and suddenly you see the house coming to life in the background. That is very good. And that is
when it works correctly. When half of the house doesn't just stop and you see the stagehands pulling on it.
Kevin, I said I was saying something nice. Now you're being mean.
When it works,
that's mean.
Great.
That's mean. If you were in charge of this in your capacity as a professional, you think you'd have it running right all the time, or do you think you'd fuck up the house?
I think I would say, cut, take 2. We can't use that. It didn't open.
We have to record 30 episodes of this today. We only have 4 days to get out a fourth of this season.
This is the best moment in the show.
Yeah.
You got to make it good. You can't be like, oh, well, half the house is now visible.
It really is. When they are in the moon room, Dwight makes a disgusted noise, and Wesley says,
I know. This is Moon B.O.
Yeah, this is Moon B.O.
Yeah.
And what I think it is that the mist they're pumping in from above must smell really bad.
I guess.
Which makes me wonder what the fog machine, what's up? Has it not been cleaned?
Right. Those shouldn't be smelly.
Machine?
Like, they're not, great, but it's not... They're certainly calling it Moon B.O. Suddenly it's terrible, and... Yeah. It's like an aside to him. It's like, no, you're on stage. You have to say this so that the audience understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But, there's much I would change about his hosting.
They jump back and forth from the house back to the quiz round, which is a bad idea. Once you're in the house, stay in the house. But you go back. Now there's a picture of Ben Franklin flying his kite. They do another array of these. At one point, Wesley...
Ben Franklin flying his kite, and then there's a cord from the kite that's going into a boom box. And our host says, I actually like this one.
I like this picture.
Not only does he say that, one of these riddles, he says, I found this one difficult. I bet you did, Wesley. I can believe that you found one of these a little hard.
Yeah.
We're joking here. We love Wesley, but obviously he was not on point for a lot of this. I am speaking for you. We both love Wesley.
Oh, my mistake. I like when he says Sherlock's home, Holmes.
5. The blue team has 225. The blue team's only going to be searching one room, which is the living room. Red team has got all the 3 rest of them, and that's the Ollie's bathroom, the kitchen, and Sherlock's home. Holmes, remember, one of those rooms is the instant prize. Let's see which team has chosen it. Come on, teams, let's mess up that house.
This is when I was like, oh, this is on cinema. That's what this is. You're going to get to visit Sherlock's home, Holmes. But it's like, but it is supposed to be Sherlock's home, right?
Say Sherlock's home. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Maybe that was originally the title, and then they're like, no, say Sherlock Holmes' room. And then he just, did neither.
Yeah, but this is Tim Heidecker squinting at the card here.
Some other name that they got wrong here. That stars another f***ing name that I don't get. Mila Kunis. Sean Bean?
Sean Penn.
Yeah, Sean Penn.
Or no, wait, Sean Bean. Yeah,
I don't know what Sean Bean is.
I thought you were mispronouncing Penn, but it's Bean.
No, I'm not going to mispronounce Penn. This is a B, not a P.
Well, you mispronounced Sean, so...
I think it's supposed to be Sean Bean.
Also Jeremy's Iron. Sherlock's home.
Yes, so the second round of rooms they visit is Alibaba's bathroom. Which, The detritus in the bathroom feels like there's just like toilet paper rolls stacked up next to presumably his tub or his toilet. It's too much. It makes it feel too much like there's somewhere someone has taken a shit, for my taste. Then you've got the kitchen and Sherlock's home, Holmes. I wrote after that, everything is Decker, as we often say.
Yes.
We get some products here. It's always fun to see what gifts they're giving away on these shows. We have a dope Beach Boys skateboard, presumably based on the era of this, courtesy of Mr. Mike Love. He was certainly the one behind these skateboards, but these skateboards are special. They're the only skateboards with handles.
Yeah.
Do you want a handle to carry your skateboard around? Well, the Beach Boys have you covered.
Yeah.
It is at this point that Wesley says, as you know, everything is breakable here on Finders Keepers. You have so arduously and haltingly walked us through step by step all the rules of this game, and you didn't mention that until now. We are now more than halfway through the episode, and now we know, quote, everything is breakable. Not really, because if they punch the wall, I bet they're going to hurt their hand. It's not clear to me how much of this is breakable and how much isn't, but he repeatedly stresses everything is breakable. One of the rooms, if you go into it, you get an instant prize. No effort required just for landing in this room. It's the opposite of Legends of the Hidden Temple, where the scary man comes out and steals your pendant and maybe lightly molests you before disappearing. And
right.
In this one, you get a trip to...
Space Camp.
Space Camp. That thing we all wanted so much.
Yes, so much.
The instant prize room!
Step into the world of the astronauts as you suit up and conduct exciting space shuttle missions of your own during a week at the U.S. Space Camp near NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
So much. And that's a good instant prize. That's the best prize you get out of this thing, a trip to the space camp.
For sure, but it's just so anticlimactic when they're just like, oh, you get a prize. It's just like, oh, okay, we're all right. It reminded me when he said, as we know, everything is breakable, and I was like, I didn't know that. My brother complains that the emails from his kid's school always say, just a reminder, we have open house tomorrow, and it's like, this is the first email that's mentioned, and I have searched through the entire archive of all the emails. You don't get to call it a reminder if it's the first time you're saying it.
That's a classic. As somebody who has an email job, let's just say I've sent a lot of reminders, which you may or may not have noticed the first email that came through. If you didn't get it, you should probably call IT. So, Space Camp is the name of the game. It is at this point that Dwight says, oh yeah, we just got to find the thinger. Or whatever. He was using this as like the what's it we're looking for. And Wesley says, if you can find the thinger on Finders Keynotes.
What?
We gotta find the thing-winger.
The thinger-winger, yeah. If you can find the thinger-winger on Finders Keynotes.
It says Finders Keynotes. This is the room in which Dwight, it's the dining room, and they have now been told everything is breakable. Unlike the kids in the blue team in the second episode, who are Mama's sweet little goody two-shoes, they would never imagine breaking Mom's fine china.
Right,
Dwight and Ginger, Dwight especially, when he's told this and then the starter gun goes off, he goes straight over to like a cabinet with plates in it and opens it so forcefully he tears the door off, and like whatever they have for the fake window just bursts out of it. And frankly, this is the level all these kids need to be operating at all the time to make this show work. They all need Dwight's level of like, all right, it is on.
Yes,
but he's the only one who ever gets to that level.
Right. Yeah, it's like those rooms now they have where you can just go break everything. They need to have established that's what you're here to do, is just Hulk out on everything. Yeah. And then see if you can find the thing in the end. Because instead they're just like, well, I might lose it in the shrapnel. Like, I'll just dig in the drawer very carefully. And the things need to be clearer. The nose spray one where they don't know that nose spray exists.
But then it's nose drops. It's not a spray.
Right. Yeah, and it's blacked out. They black out the branding on it. It's like, could we find anything else for these kids to look at? You picked something, they don't know what it is. It's a weird thing to find. It's in an odd box, and the box you can't show us what the brand is.
And she comes up with a spray bottle, thinking that's it. And he's like, because it's something you spray to keep your nose from running.
It's not the sprayer. It was right here. It's the nose drops. That's what keeps your nose from running.
He's like, sorry, that wasn't it. It was these nose drops. Not a spray. Not a spray, Wesley. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, more infuriating was when they're like, the answer is clearly butter, and they find a butter dish, and he's just like, no, no, you have to find the butter, not the butter dish. You know, you really, why are we making this like this tortured clue that's either incredibly obvious or just bizarre? Yeah. I don't know how this adds anything to the show.
Yeah, this is the issue, is that the clues that are easy are so simple-minded, and the clues that are hard are not hard because they are more clever, they're hard because they're utterly incoherent.
Yes, yeah.
Here's another Wesleyism. Your wish didn't come through for the instant prize, but another wish can come true by winning the game. It feels to me like he meant to say true both times.
Yeah, a wish comes through.
I think this qualifies as a flub. Sherlock's room, Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock's Holmes. Is the floor is swathed in a solid foot of fog, which initially is utterly bizarre, and then halfway through them ripping up the room, he's like, the London fog is creeping in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We then get some more products here. We learn that every single... Kevin, so you're a kid, you're on Finders Keepers. Let's say you got a bum teammate. Or let's say I'm on Finders Keepers, you're my teammate. I know, I'm not taking home the top prize.
Naturally.
He's too much of a goody two-shoes. He's not going to
put things back on the shelf.
Yeah, exactly. But I can rest easy, because every single child who ever appears on this show, you know what they walk home with?
What?
A copy of the board game Finders Keepers.
Yes,
the Finders Keepers board game. They're not shy about giving these away. Given that there's 4 kids per episode, 130 episodes, they gave away more than 600 copies of this board game. And considering how much they could have probably made if they put these in retail stores around the country, they really cost themselves a lot of money on this exchange.
Yeah, I'm sure they sold at least as many as they gave away. Maybe even more.
They also mention... So they cite the Finders Keepers board game. Then they're like, also... Con Air creates products that improve your life in so many ways. And there's this array of Con Air products. There's like a bunch of different stuff. I think there's like a hair dryer, but then there's like a faux Walkman, like a Con Air cassette player. And it slowly zooms in on the Walkman, but they never actually say that the kids get the Walkman, and never say they get any of the Con Air stuff. They just say, don't we all love Con Air? So right. I'm like... Did they even get that, or is this just, these are our sponsors, we love them? We're going to lightly imply in the ether, by zooming in, that maybe this cassette player will be yours, but we have certainly not said anything that is actionable in any way.
Yeah, all of that Con Air stuff, you're like, yeah, I remember this. It does look cheap, even now. Like, it's, I don't know, it's kind of bulbous and just very plasticky.
Yeah.
I did like the significant zoom at one point when they're looking for something, and the camera just zooms in to where they should go. Like, that does make sense. That's something, because usually if they're just awkwardly tearing apart a room that's too full of shit and like too much junk that you can't discern, like it doesn't read as anything on your little TV.
Yeah.
They need at least give us something.
They need a fixed camera view in a different part of the room, too. They can't just be having handheld running around. They need to have, like, a top-down, like an overhead of the room.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't want to do that, because then you'd be like, well, this is I mean, obviously it's $22.50 a month in San Francisco, but it's
sure, yeah,
not much of a room for a house.
Yeah.
So, yes, the kids in the final run. This is the 6-room run. This is the temple run at the end of Legends of the Hidden Temple. But for Finders Keepers, you have, how much time is it? 90 seconds, I believe.
90 seconds, yeah.
To make it through 6 rooms.
Basically impossible.
Wesley has to read each clue to you before you know what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
This is like in a video game, like in at the end of Metal Gear Solid when you fight Liquid Snake, but there's the bomb that's going to go off, and the timer starts, but then he talks for another 30 seconds before you get to start fighting.
If you cross this line, you fall. At this height, it will kill even you.
You're like, Wesley, you motherfucker. Get in. Because sometimes he's trailing them and not even in the room when they get there. It's like, give me the clue. Your only job here is to disperse these clues. He shouldn't be in the house. He should be off the house reading the clues into a microphone. He should frankly be giving them the clues, if you want to be fair about this, before they've even made it to the new room. Oh, the rooms are not like aren't continuously laid out either. I guess that's why he has to be there, because they wouldn't know which room to go to next.
Yeah.
But,
that's for sure part of it.
But like when I was a kid watching this, I thought, look at this big cool house. And now you watch it and you're like, imagine trying to live. It's so cramped. It just looks cramped and hot and filthy. Just revolting. My goodness.
Here's the clue. Candy is dandy, but wicker is quicker. Wait, you wait till I say go. You have 90 seconds. Find it. All right, there she goes. Wicker is quicker. Keep going. Wicker. Look at the wicker. There they go, and they're looking at all the wicker baskets. Ginger and white. There's more wicker. Look at the wicker. Can she find it? She got it. Go to Sherlock.
And then one of the clues in it is, it's something trash in a can, and the kids just start tearing apart the room, and he's like, trash in a can, trash can. Like, look in the fucking trash. Look for a trash can. That's when we get our first significant zoom to the trash can, which is not hidden. It's just in the room in a natural way. But again, that's like half the things in here. It's, in the dining room, they see the butter dish. They think that's the butter. And he's like, no, you're ridiculous. And then in this room, it's like, well, trash in a can. Yeah, it is the normal trash can that's in the place you would expect a trash can to be. You can hide half of it, and the other half is just like, just something you would see if you glanced around the room.
Yeah, so they failed to do it. I will give a spoiler up front. Neither of the teams we watched successfully completed the 6-room run, although in episode 2 they come terrifyingly close, and I actually think they have a fair gripe about how it went down.
Yes, I agree.
But, the prizes...
So, Losers Weepers. Losers Weepers. It's a much more accurate name for this dumb show.
There you go. The prizes in the final prize rundown here, we have Converse Connoisseur shoes, which have dinos on the soles.
Yeah, so you leave dinos. I had these.
Okay.
I had connoisseurs.
So they leave dino imprints when you're...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you fell down face first into your own imprint, you might shit yourself because you're so afraid. Because then it would look really big because you were right there.
Right. Yeah. Good point.
And then we have a 29-volume Funkin' Wagnalls encyclopedia. The funniest name for an encyclopedia.
Yep.
And then we have... Yeah, and then we have a box of Otter Pops. What value? That's right, kids, a box of Otter Pops. It's ice. It's sugary, fruit-flavored water.
It is the most chemical that has ever tasted like a chemical. Yeah. And they say, and the lovable characters. And I was like, boy, you sure couldn't pick those characters out of a lineup. If you just picked
otters, surely.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you had just something that looked kind of like them, it's not like, oh, I love the orange guy. But I do admire, then I was like, a lot of products change their branding every like 5 to 10 years just to stay hip and current. Otter Pops, they went with this. Guaranteed this is what it was when it was selling out of old pop otters back porch. And then they're just like, no, we're keeping it. We will never adjust it. We have a very consistent sales profile. We make, 25 cents per box, and we do it 100 times a day.
And we do it brilliantly.
Yes.
I do, I mean, considering how cheap Otter Pops are to produce, you give away 100 boxes of Otter Pops just to have the picture of the Otter Pop box at the end of this not very good game show is still great business for them, I dare say.
Absolutely.
Mom, I want to eat blue otter. I want green otter. So that's the end of episode 1. Losers, unfortunately.
Yep.
It was Derek and Ginger who did the run at the end, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Wait, Dwight and Ginger, right?
Dwight and Ginger, pardon me. Derek coming up. So episode 2. Wesley introduces the only show where trashing a room can win you some dough. That can't be true. I'm sure there's another show that involves wrecking stuff for money. Even in those days. We have the blue team, Dan and Jill, and the red team, Michelle and Derek. Now, this was the point at which watching this, I was like, okay, I must have been wrong, because here they do go one puzzle round before getting the little bios, so clearly that's how they're doing it. And then that made me wonder if that's how they do it in Double Dare, because Double Dare does the cold open with the physical challenge. So I was like, maybe this is house style, and they're like, we want to grab you with our best fastball right off the bat. But in Double Dare, it's like, look at these kids trying to catch eggs in their helmet bowls. And they're getting egg everywhere. And in this, it's, let's look at this picture. A ballerina picture puzzle titled A Lesson Learned the Hard Way. First draft stuff on that title.
Yeah. Let's look at children looking at a picture. All right. And now we give you a tortured clue, and they circle it. And no matter what they circle, the judges will just say they won. You got it.
Well, there is a bird's nest in the blonde girl's hair. There is a tugboat in the redhead's shoe. Of that one, Wesley says, I had trouble finding that one myself. I believe him. I think Wesley needs to focus on not advertising how many of these like puzzles for 6-year-olds he struggled to do.
I wrote down that Wesley looks kind of like the guy in French Kiss, the fiance. He's got sort of
Timothy Hutton.
He's got some Timothy Hutton vibes.
Yeah, I think I see that. I think you're onto something there.
Thank
you. Now, we get their little biographical stories. Danny, his story is that his sister and friends, and I believe he was 2 years old in this story.
Yes.
His sister and friends see him and call him a monster and run away. And then he looks in the mirror and sees himself and is confused and thinks, I'm a monster? This feels like the kind of story that's just a light, fun story about a kid, but could also like ruin your life if you took it the wrong way. Like the moment when you look in the mirror and you're like, I'm a monster. Like if you're the wrong kind of kid, suddenly your life is over.
It's true, but it's also the kind of game that like just gets played all the time. Oh no, it's the monster. He's chasing me, and the fact that this is like, it really fucked me up for the last 8 years. I'm still not over it. Is bizarre. There's the person that's I don't even know what she said because all she said was like. I was like, Mom, and like this and like this like I just didn't think and like it was an era of lots of likes, but even for that, and I use like too much. Even for that, it's like too much, man.
I was under the gun when I used like too much. My dad was none too fond of that. None too fond of the likes. Also got a lot of criticism about pronouncing the word cool as though it had 2 syllables. That was not acceptable. Yeah, that was a no-go zone at 7-Eleven Meadowsweet Drive. Yes.
Well, because he was there for the dawn of cool. He was like, no, beatniks invented cool. Also, don't call us beatniks, but they did. And you can't be saying cool while you're snapping.
I don't know if he was in rooms with a lot of snapping. I assume it must have happened at some point. Some people still do that. They volunteer. They allow themselves to be seen in public snapping instead of doing anything else.
Yeah, nodding and smiling, much better.
So Jill, you said you didn't clock this story when she was little. This sounds like it could be like a story from a Final Destination movie. She locks her bedroom door, then climbs inside the top drawer of her dresser.
And suddenly the whole dresser fell down. I started screaming. My mom was like, she's banging at the door. She's like, Jill, what's going on? I'm like, she goes, come out. I'm like, Mom, I can't. I'm stuck in the drawer. I couldn't get out. I was stuck.
Yeah, don't try to do that at home. No.
Upon hearing this story, Wesley, visibly nervous, urges kids not to do that. The viewers at home should not do that. And he does this as though the content of the story was a mystery to him. And he didn't know that it was going to be something that would be unsafe for kids. Again, that is not a him issue. That's a production and a prep issue. Right. There should be someone doing pre-interviews with these kids. Clearly that was happening, because he knows these stories, the vague shape of them. But he also seems a little taken aback that it's like, oh, this is a story where this kid could have died if no one was around for too long.
Yeah. Well, you live through it, I guess, but it's... Yeah. Either lean into it or don't have this be the story. You can't possibly have this be your reaction where you're like, oh God, oh no, don't even bring that up.
Yeah. That reaction is only going to make kids want to do it more.
Exactly. The next girl says, he's like, oh, so tell me what happened to you. And she's like, I was only 8 years old. Don't get me wrong. It's like, that's such a weird way to start your story.
Yeah. But she says that she was at a skating rink on roller skates and had to go to the bathroom.
Wrong, and I was at a roller skating rink, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I went to sit down, but I just kept rolling into the door.
So she went to sit on the toilet, but, quote, just kept rolling.
Yeah. Gross. Don't take those skates into the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's not for that.
Yeah. It is a gross one, but by far the bleakest and most depressing of any stories the kids have told us in this. Derek, and Wesley's really excited for this one. He's like, tell us the story about when you were like, you stunk in the trunk.
And Derek was stunk in the trunk. Wait till you hear this one.
I was about 5 years old, and I was feeding some ducks at a swamp, and it just rained, and the water was all muddy, and there was all this algae in there, and I leaned over to feed a duck, and I fell in, and I had to ride home in the trunk with my dad.
Because you smell so much. Well, we have a lot of goop and stuff all over this set, so things like that might happen here.
This is just a story about a terrible father. You're too stinky? Roll the window down, buddy. It's not safe. It's not safe or humane on any level. To put a child in the trunk of a car and drive away, that's abusive and weird.
That's so much worse than climbing a dresser and then it falls on you. That's self-inflicted.
Yeah, and I do feel like once the whole story is laid out in front of him, Wesley's pre-story enthusiasm, it feels like he's like, well, this one's going to bring it all back. And then once it's out there, he's like, anyway, it's like, I feel like he sort of realizes it didn't land as well as it had in his head when he was getting ready for this.
Yeah, it's very, can we lighten up a little bit, kids? Energy.
Yeah, so you almost died because you trapped yourself in a drawer. Your dad threw you in his trunk because you smelled bad. You tried to use a toilet, but you were on roller skates. You just rolled into the urine-soaked wall.
Yeah, on the floor. Gross.
Yeah, but Harvey comes in as narrator.
Wesley and the teams get ready for some searching. Here's a tour of some of the rooms in today's house. Well, the attic is just overflowing with junk. We'll have some hors d'oeuvres in today's dining room, but nobody really knows what hors d'oeuvres are anyway. And watch out for the dust balls in the living room. Here are some of today's great prizes we're going for. From Toys R Us, a $100 gift certificate. The world's biggest and best toy store. Your favorite place to go with thousands of toys and tons of fun in every aisle from Toys R Us.
It's refreshing. It's refreshing to hear Harvey here, because when he's talking, at least you know, well, this is a seasoned pro who knows what he's doing. He's nailing his marks. He's saying his lines.
It feels like he's talking about a show that you're not watching, though. It's weird to have him there. It's like, no, this Harvey, you don't know what's going on here. You don't know what we're going through on this set, and yet he's sitting there. So, but he's presenting it as though, yes, it's all, you know, the ship has never run smoother.
I will say, if you were given a choice to work one of these shows, you would kill to work Finders Keepers, based on what we've read about Double Dare and the hygiene issues that unfolded when that show was being made. If you fell on the floor and your skin touched the floor, you'd get a rash.
Yeah. I dare you to touch the floor.
Yeah. We get another Toys R Us ad, but this one has a photo of people in the giraffe costumes standing outside a Toys R Us at, like, dusk. This looks like found footage horror, this picture. This is Jeffrey the giraffe's last known photo.
Yeah, no, it is troubling. It's, yeah, somebody is coming for you. Don't trust those people in the costumes. People in costumes already, you know, it's a little distressing. Obviously,
Suspect.
Yeah, you know, we've used those to death in your Purge movies and things of this nature. And the only move anybody has in those, because they're wearing a mask, is to turn their head like this.
Yeah.
They tilt it to the side because there's nothing else you can do because you don't have expressions, and the filmmakers are not good. But just anytime you see somebody in a mask, you know, you're not going to have to count to 10 before they do the head tilt.
Yeah. You mentioned this in our Borderlands episode on the Patreon, patreon.com/nowweknow, as they return to that well for the Berserker in Borderlands. So we get more prizes here. So many of these prizes back then are sports shoes, tennis rackets, athletic gear. Nowadays, all kids would want an iPad mini and a gun. These are the only things we want in our society now.
They did have mini TVs in this, which I desperately wanted, and now I basically have one, and I'm like, well, I don't like watching videos on it.
Yeah, no, when I was a kid, my wildest dream was to have, like, a Get Smart style, like, a watch I can talk on, and, like, I can radio my friends just on a watch on my wrist. It's like, well, I've had that for 10 years. I would say it's materially worsened my brain. It hasn't helped with anything, really.
It's not like I've had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Wesley, Harvey says, "Where's Wesley?" It's like, well, I mean, we know where he is. He's somewhere. He's somewhere in the house. He's lurking in the house.
Stop trying to make me find things. Not everything has to be found.
Yeah, but the quiz segments on this one I didn't take as close note of because they're really a drag. But here's something that caught my eye: the first sequence, the red team. What was that? The red team is Michelle and Derek. They are in a bathroom with a big foamy bathtub. The puzzle is, I forget what it is exactly, but what they're looking for is like steel wool. I think it was a steel cleaner.
Yes.
By which they mean like a steel wool like thing.
Yeah.
They clearly, Derek later asserts that he knew what they meant. I don't know if that's true or not, but he says go. And they both start going in the tub immediately. Because there's this big tub full of suds. It seems obvious. It must be in here. And then she pulls out this, like, I don't know what it is, some sort of metal bric-a-brac out of the tub. And clearly you would think, well, it's a steel cleaner. This is a metal thing I don't recognize that is in a tub that is sudsy, so it's being used for cleaning. This is probably the cheapest trick they play on any kids in here, because you know you're going to look in the tub first. And the fact that you would have anything in the tub, when normally nothing like that would be in the tub, implies significance.
Yeah.
And then
I think you could also easily, even if you know you're going for steel wool, you see this tub, here's this big tub, it's going to take you more than 30 seconds or close to 30 seconds to really determine there's definitely not one SOS pad in there. I don't, you're feeling around in water.
Yeah.
That could take forever.
But she pulls it out, Michelle, and shows it to Wesley. And then Wesley's like, is that your guess? You can only make one guess. This has to be your final guess.
Is this your answer? I need one answer. Is this the answer? No, that is incorrect.
And she nods, and then he's like, "Oh, sorry, you didn't get it. You didn't get it. It was the steel wool over here. Derek, you knew it was the steel wool, right?" And Derek's like, "Yeah." Now, here, again, this is the most egregious thing he's done yet, and the most egregious in the whole show. He walks them through. He says, "You know how this game is played, right?"
You know how this game plays? I'll read your clue. You have 30 seconds. If you can find the object we're looking for, we'll give you $50. If you don't find it, that $50 goes to the other team. Here we go.
He walks them through it. He never stipulates to them that they get one guess at the object.
No.
And in the last episode, they're just picking stuff up, and then he points it out when they get it. Which sort of implies, well, okay, if you don't tell him you think it's that, then you get to keep looking. But she pulled it up and looked at him, and then he induced her to make a guess that ended the round.
Right.
But he never says in the intro, you only get one guess. He only tells her that when she has this item in her hand, and she is under the pressure of an active countdown timer that is happening. And he, contrary to what I suggested earlier, is standing between her and where the item is.
That's right. Yeah.
And so this is grotesque. This is an injustice.
Yeah.
And then he really rubs it in too.
Yeah.
He rubs it in. He's like, he says,
check.
You guys were just a little too fast on the buzzer, huh?
Here we go. That means that you guys were just a little too fast on the buzzer, right? I mean, too fast giving me the answer. You should confer the next time.
Too fast giving me the answer. You should confer next time. Talk to each other more next time. You didn't explain the rules until there was a fucking gun to her head.
Yeah. Confer. Yes. Bitch. Here's a minor change that would make a big difference for me in my enjoyment of this. First of all, I think it looks cheap to be going to the house and then you leave the house and then you go back to the house.
Yeah.
Like the hidden temple, you don't get to the hidden temple until the end, and then it's like the big deal. To just go, well, we went to the house, now we left. Bad. But if you're going to do that, have it be that, okay, you're looking at this picture. Where's, we're looking for something that looks like a duck and quacks like a duck. And you circle a duck, and then they go, okay, look in Tarzan's room for the duck. Go. Right? Instead of it being like, oh, here's another clue for a different thing that's unrelated to the picture. Then you know what you're looking for. It's ridiculous to be like, search this room for something. And I will, again, give you a convoluted clue, which is either painfully obvious or just so painful that it is unobvious. Or maybe a product that you're not aware of, such as nose drops / spray or steel wool, which as a kid maybe you know about, maybe not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I did want to add on that subject. When Wesley pressures her to give the final answer, it's not even clear to me that he knows if it is or isn't the weird bric-a-brac she has in her hand. He gestures for the judges, so he doesn't even know what they're looking for, which might explain why he is blocking them off from it by standing in front of it. Just really shoddy work all around. And also, like, I don't think in this moment that he realizes... Initially, I don't think he realizes he didn't tell them the rules before they started. But then after this, he definitely does realize, because he nervously repeats it to the next group of kids.
Right.
All right, Dan and Jill. Yeah, you saw what happened to them. If you think you know something right away, make sure your partner agrees with you, okay? Because I have to accept that answer.
Michelle, who is the person who made this answer, says something to him as he is leaving the room very quickly, and I can't tell what it was, but you see her mouth moving, and then he's like, okay. And he, like, he throws off an okay as he hustles out of the room.
You're here for one goddamn specific reason. What's that, Earl? To fuck us! Oh, you're full of shit.
He's in the next room, and he's like, look, just so you know, you only get one guess, and it's important to confer beforehand. They didn't do that over. It's like, stop talking about them. This is what I was getting at with the, he is baked while doing that. This energy is what I mean. It's like, you're stoned, you have the realization you fucked something up, and like you bail out of that, but then you're faced with these other people and you're still thinking about it, and like it doesn't involve them. You can make it look right for them, but you're just too like, they didn't know, but you need to know. So this this is where we get the blue team that is so sedate, so respectful, very restrained, very respectful children. These children would be a dream to have as your real children. But what they are not is compelling finders keepers. Like when they start going through the living room, you can almost see the horror in Wesley. He's trying to like, this is finders keepers. Come on, guys.
You gotta go. Come on, Dan and Jill. Dan and Jelly's worth $50, they don't find it. Go for it. Oh, Dan and Jill. Now this is finders keepers. You know why you didn't find anything? You didn't go for it. You can do anything. You can take plates. These plates break easily. Everything breaks here. You can go for it. You have to trash these rooms, and a candle burns at both ends. That means we have a tie score. Both teams have 100. We're gonna go to Granny's kitchen.
Yeah. You can break anything in this house. Come on, let's go. And they're just like, they're not running. They're not jogging. They are walking around this room, slowly, like taking books, individual books off the shelves, looking behind plates, putting the plates back. I've never seen anything like... I've never seen children this low energy on a game show. And there's nothing that accounts for it. Like, it's not a good show. He's not a good host. But you're on TV. You would think that you would be a little up. But, like, they are as low as can be.
Yeah, maybe it's like first thing in the morning or something when they're shooting it. But, yeah, he's like, this isn't home. Like you do, This is tremendous. Again, it's a little late to be explaining it to them mid hunt. You have to amp them up in advance. Be like, all right, you're gonna break stuff. You're gonna pull it all apart. It's like Zelda. You're breaking pots and whatnot. But no.
But then in the aftermath of this, he he's doing it playfully, but he's clearly a little annoyed that they weren't moving fast or breaking anything. He's like, everything breaks here on Finders Keepers. Again, you didn't tell them that. So this is two straight things. Obviously, we soon learned that him telling them that has not affected their decision-making whatsoever.
Right, yes.
But at this point, it's like, okay, all that's happened here is you have fucked up and not explained the whole thing here to two consecutive groups of kids. And you seemingly botched both of their first experiences, their first goes at these rooms. The next room is the kitchen. When Derek and Michelle are shown close up in the kitchen in this shot, I think they both look a little off-put and weirded out by Wesley. There's a vibe to it where it's like you said earlier, realizing your parent isn't up to taking care of you and we have to figure it out. That's the feeling I get from this. And I'm sure when he was dealing with the blue team, they're just off in the next room. I'm sure they talked and were like, he never said that we only got one guess. Like, this is a conversation they have had. They know he fucked us. But sometimes when you're a kid, you can't quite get to the point where you're like, oh, adults don't necessarily know what they're talking about. But I think in this moment they know Wesley's hat's fallen off here a little bit.
Yes.
And Wesley then also says of Derek, he acts as though he's reading off his card and jokingly says, this one cheats. It's like, so this is two straight random episodes we picked where he's accused the kids of cheating and reading his cards in both of them. This is a you problem. Hide the cards.
Hide the card and read a little faster. The kids are bored.
Yeah.
So you're just like, they can tell that you're not going to do it right. So they're like, just instinctually, they lean over to see what the hell you're saying.
They quickly and effortlessly find a measuring cup. And now we get the second moment where I'm like, this guy is stoned. Something is up with him. He takes the measuring cup. He just holds the measuring cup as he walks into the next room with the blue team. And he says to the blue team, measuring cup. They found a measuring cup.
Yeah.
They really went for that, and they got to find it. That's what you got to do in this room. A measuring cup. They found a measuring cup. Here we go.
Yes. Yeah, that was bizarre. Yeah, it's like, oh, no, I'm holding this, and it's weird. It's like, it's not weird unless you're about to make it weird by telling everybody that it's weird that I'm holding this cup.
Obviously, I've staked out my claim that he's in some degree inebriated. It could also be that he internally realizes that his compounding mistake... He made a big mistake on the first one that fucked it up for that girl. And then his distraction about that created another mishap in the next room. So now he's just fully on tilt. Like everything in his hands, he's thinking about every step he takes through the room. He now thinks that one of the kids is trying to cheat by reading his cards. He's getting paranoid. Like everything is spiraling out of control for Wesley here.
Yeah, but all of these Nickelodeon game shows, I mean, you know, Mark Summers were putting up as the beacon of hope for these sorts of things. He's not so good. He's probably the best. I was trying to think if I liked him or the Guts guy better, because the Guts guy is like much more like doesn't like elevate anything. He's sort of subdued at all times.
I think Mike O'Malley of Guts. I think it is him. I think he's the only one who like they see some pretty miserable performances from kids on that. But I've never watched an episode of that show and felt like he was putting the kids down or making them feel bad. I feel like he had the right touch with these kids. I just think his enthusiasm level was like had the floor and ceiling were 2 inches apart. It's like there's no variation in what you get from Mike O'Malley. Yeah, but it is easier because Guts is so kinetic. Yeah. You don't have to like try to juice the kids into like try harder. Like they're all trying, even if they're failing spectacularly. They all are trying because to fail in that game is so humiliating. Yeah, everyone will be talking about it forever if you fucking lay an egg in one of these Guts episodes.
And Guts, and especially Legends in the Hidden Temple, have the advantage of having more players than will be there in the final round. So it's not just like, well, we're stuck with these 4 kids. They were all turds, but I guess one of them has to do something exciting for the show to be good. It's like, for Legends of the Hidden Temple, it's like there's 16 children. You know, we'll find 2 that have some energy to bring to the last round. So it's not just like gentle sorting of you know the monkey statue. We get more of the trivia stuff here, or not trivia, what should be trivia. We get more of the boring round where they're looking at photos, drawings. And he says we always make mistakes on finders keepers. This is the cute as a whistle moment. But then he says, whoever gets this next question will get the right to search a room. And suddenly that felt like a search warrant. Is like the cops have the right to search this room. That was like the right to search it.
You will be duly authorized and empowered by law to enter the finders keepers home. But one room. You will be escorted to that room by Mr. Wesley Eure. You will be escorted out once the prize has been discovered. This one, and then actually,
for the final round, they have to wear helmets and goggles as though it's Double Dare. It's like these are the same rooms you were just in. Now it's dangerous. You're just trying to ramp up the drama, but then children in goggles and helmets are delicately sorting through items on shelves.
Yeah. So there's not too much else to say here, but I do want to get some quick hits. We've been going for a while, but Wesley, after the next room, the dining room, visibly furious with the blue team because this is the second straight room where they're just like, put the plate back, and he's like, what are you doing, guys? He's taking on the affect of Gil from The Simpsons here. He's like, yes. You're really killing me, guys. You can break it. At the end of this one, he's like, no, it was over here, and look, and he takes this thing on the shelf that she had been touching. But she didn't actually pull it down. He's like, look, it was right here. And he puts it on the table and punches it open.
Pop, use this to butter up the boss. My voice is going up. Keep going. Come on, you gotta hurry. You gotta No. Dan and Jill, again, look at this. It's finders keepers. You gotta go. You were right there for it. Look at that. There was the butter. What? You had your hand on it. You gotta go for it. You can do anything here.
Yeah. The realest he gets is anytime he breaks something. He's like, everything can break. Just like, smash this plate and punch this thing. It's really like that part comes very naturally to him. Nothing else in the show.
Yeah.
This is so the final round of this. We do get the dad hid everything in the cigar boxes ! As the clue, and the next one, Uncle Jeff went to jail because he loves bread that is stale.
Here's the clue. Where's that stale bread? Come on, you can find it.
When I saw this, I was like, this is code. This is code for something really evil, right? Uncle Jeff went to jail because he loves bread that is stale. What does that mean? Does it mean he's a necrophiliac?
Ugh. Yeah, and it's Jeff, Geof, which I've never seen, ever.
Never seen. No Jeff has ever been spelled Geof. Jeff! There is one puzzle thing I wanted to mention, which is that I don't remember what teed it off. But the answer is, look, in her swim, it's where does Oscar live? Oscar on Sesame Street. It's like, come on, you know it. And he's like, it's right here, the trash can in her swimsuit. It's circled. I see no trash can. I was wearing my glasses. Did you see the trash can?
I saw it just before. Like they had already failed. And then I was like, oh, that's supposed to be a trash can.
Well, when he announces that the trash can is in the swimsuit, you hear like an audible ripple of like discord and like grumbling from all of the kids.
Do you know it at home? Can you see it? Where does Oscar live? Where does Oscar live? You know the answer. Trash can. Can you see the trash can at home? Let's reveal it. There it is, her bathing suit.
The blue team at this point, the red team, my theory of this, they are now dominating. Obviously, the blue team not really trying. The red team got fucked on the first one. But like true champions, they got fucked. They lost the round through no fault of their own, through bad officiating. They were fucked by the establishment. Did they wallow in their feelings? No, they locked in. They were like, okay, we are fucking wrecking every other one of these. We're going to show Wesley what's what.
And he just like, enjoy y'all last win.
The blue team, comparatively, what do they look like? Why, they look like your San Francisco Giants in any do-or-die September series against the LA Dodgers. That's how they look. They're just going through the motions. It would be very impolite to try to beat Clayton Kershaw in his last game. Right this way, Mr. Kershaw. Feel free to wobble a few curves over the plate. I won't swing.
Yeah. We definitely don't have enough data on you to have any guesses what you might be throwing next. 20 years of this shit.
We got more prizes here. We get the Casio G-Shock wristwatch, which is in the same, it's the same basic form as their iconic F91W watch. Obviously, I've mentioned on the podcast how I collect a lot of these old Casio watches. I'm wearing one right now. There you go. You can't really see it. It's disappeared. Well, it's pretty
neat. Put it in front of your face.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Nope. Yeah. All right. Well, some of it I can see.
Yeah. It's I just think it's cool that these watches fundamentally, like you said about Otter Pops, have not changed in 50 years. Yeah. And looking at this, I'm like, yeah, I could buy that watch tomorrow. That watch is being sold at almost every place you can buy watches, and it has been for this entire stretch of time. I think that's cool. I also think it's cool that a watch like that could conceivably last from then until now. All you need is a new battery. Yeah. We get a vacation. You can stay at the Howard Johnson Hotel, which just has a big H and J on the side. I wouldn't mind staying there.
We'll call it Hojo's.
Yes. Oh God, that's right. One of the clues they didn't get was find the candy-coated snack that's Jack's favorite kind of crackers.
Here we go. Listen very carefully. To win, find the candy-coated snack that's Jack's favorite kind of crackers.
Yeah.
And this is a lesson in just because I figure out what you're going for doesn't mean it's not total gibberish. No. I know what you're doing. You're referring to Cracker Jacks.
Indeed.
But Cracker Jacks are not a candy-coated snack that's Jack's favorite kind of crackers. It's popcorn with nuts.
Yeah. I mean, there's caramel on it, but it is not a cracker. They're Jacks. They're Cracker Jacks. I don't even whatever. I don't want to have to examine what it means.
Yeah. Even Harvey being around Wesley for too long gets a little mumble mouth here when he's introducing the metal detector prize. It is a Coin Master metal detector. He calls it Coin Mastle. A White's Coin Mastle metal detector. You already mentioned Dad hid everything in the cigar boxes. I wrote that down, obviously. We are of like minds.
Yeah.
The part where they're in like the closet and they can't find it. This is like room 4 of the 6-room run. And like they've been ripping through stuff like he told them to. But now the floor is like a swamp of stuff you can barely move through. And despite that, he's yelling, "Faster! Quickly! Quickly!" And it's like, this is a situation of your urging. I'm now waist deep in junk.
Yeah.
But
again, just like here, Double Dare. You know, the Double Dare existed. The whole thing in Double Dare. Here's a big, just like swampy pit of shit. And then there's a flag that is a totally different texture, a totally different color. You know when you found it. The game cannot be that you don't know when you found it. You don't even know what you're looking for, and it is in no way distinct, but it's also not hidden in again, it's not hidden like in the drawings where it's hidden in plain sight or something. That it's just like it's terrible. This game is terribly designed. Watching it, you kind of see like what they were thinking going into it, but none of it translated to, okay, well, what do we do with this idea?
Yeah. I mean, I do think what I said earlier, I stand by. I think maybe without this step, they never get to Legends of the Hidden Temple in the way they do. Because that is like a realization of what this should have been. And this is just like a homunculus that could never get there, you know? Is they were like, well, they'll go back and forth. We'll have, you have to get the points in order to win the right to invade the house. We're not going to have guards in the house, but we are just going to have, techs hurling bananas at these children as they try to do what they're doing. Now, they get through the 5th room, and there's 5 seconds left. I'm watching this, I'm like, this is over. Even if they got to the last room, Wesley is not going to read the clue off fast enough.
Right.
But they run into the last room, and Michelle grabs like a lacrosse thing, a lacrosse stick.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry you didn't get it. It's this lacrosse stick on the other side of the room."
Oh, you grabbed this. It was right here. You knew what we're looking for, but you got through 5 rooms. And that means, Harvey, tell them what they've won.
The fuck?
Yeah.
So she bursts in there, she makes a blind stab and grabs the right item, but not the right one. It's identical to the right one. And and you have 2 of the same item, but one of them you get nothing for. That shouldn't happen. There should only be one of these things.
Yeah.
And she pulled this thing despite you, frankly, not being on top of it enough to even begin to tell her what the clue was. I'm sorry, this is a victory. This should be handed down as a victory. It's a victory by default. If you don't want it to be a victory, there shouldn't be another fucking lacrosse stick sitting there.
Yeah. It cannot be that you have to find the lacrosse stick. No, not that one. It's the other one. It has a clue in it.
Yeah.
Like, I found it. It's right here. No. The important one over there.
No, this is an instance of robbing. This is rigged.
Yeah.
This is big league rigged. We see it all the time. The NBA rigs playoff series all the time. They did it against the Kings famously in 2002.
Bibby. And he's in front of him. And he's going to come. Oh, an elbow. Yes. An elbow right in the chops.
Could have been an offensive foul. A big break for the Lakers.
They did it against the Warriors in 2016.
Every time they've lost. Yep.
What you don't know is that the CIA has developed a gun where they shoot you with a small dart and you pull your hamstring immediately.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
They're going nuts with that against the 49ers right
now. I tell you what, sometimes I think about my relationship with the Giants and the Warriors, and I think, thank God I don't like football.
Yeah.
Because if I cared about a sports team where, no, every time they do anything, one of them could, never be able to walk again. And, that is not an unrealistic expectation. That's too much. 55 players a team? I don't want to be a fan of a team where I couldn't name everyone on the team if I had to.
That's how I feel about, all these K-pop outfits. That it's like, oh, there's 12 boys. They all look, pretty, not so dissimilar. They're not styled so distinctly. Do you have 12 styles? I don't think so. I feel like any one of them, you can't even be like, oh, well, it's each color of the rainbow that they stick with. Yeah. I can't get excited for that. It's too many people. That's a crowd.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's Finders Keepers, folks.
Yep. Yeah.
Thank you for hanging in with us. We went deep on FK today. I thought when we started 2 episodes of a game show, how deep could we go? But as I was watching it, I was like, no, there is a lot to discuss here.
Yeah.
There's something going on here that is vexing. And I think we got to I dare say this is the definitive Finders Keepers podcast. I doubt anyone has bothered to go as deep on it as we just did. And we did it all for you because we love you. And we love doing this show. If you want to get bonus episodes that turn this into a monthly podcast, head to
weekly.
Weekly.
It doesn't subtract one. It adds 2.
It's monthly in that you get 4 episodes per month. On a monthly basis, 4 episodes. Distributed one.
You get one a week.
Distributed 1 per week. But it's a monthly package. Anyways, go to patreon.com/nowweknow. Sign up for our Patreon, which for $5 a month, you get 2 extra episodes a month. So that's $2.50 per episode. You can't even get a coffee for that. People used to say, oh, that's... a cup of coffee. No, that's much cheaper than a cup of coffee. I mean, now, especially if you're the kind of person who tips when you go into a coffee shop, which all these people ask for tips now, and obviously I'm not going to be the guy who doesn't tip service workers. I take that all very seriously. So I'm always tipping. Frankly, the options now are usually like $1, $2, $5. Well, I'm not giving $5 for a $6 cup of coffee. But I don't want to just give 1, so I'll usually give 2. Now it's like, okay, I've just paid $7 for this cup of coffee. That would have gotten me more than a subscription to the Now We Know premium feed. I think that every time. So if you enjoy this show and have for as many years, as long as we've been doing it, we appreciate your support. If you already support us, thank you so much. And it means the world to us. I think that's it as far as Finders Keepers goes. Do I have anything else in my notes? Every word of this is in my notes. Oh, one of the clues is Columbus blew this up. and then it's a balloon that when you blow it up is like a globe of the world.
Yes, Columbus blew this up to prove the Earth was not flat.
Yeah, that's... I don't even know where to start with that.
It's not true. No, he didn't.
The most you can say for that is that the implication that Columbus blew the world up is, I suppose, a bit progressive for the 90s. But, yeah. So, that's that. What did you think?
Yeah, good show. Good show.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's much better to me than a more competently executed show that was the same basic concept. I enjoy watching him squirm more than I would enjoy watching a host just do a fine job, like, you know, replacement level. So if you're looking for that, this is the show for you. You know, I don't think it's the kind of show that warrants too cruel of a review because it's bad, it's forgotten. But why are we talking about this? Well, because there is a little something fun about hating this show. I think you could watch an episode. I really can't imagine that you'd get more from the third. You know, like seeing 2 was like, okay, it wasn't a one-off that he was like awkward with the kids or the kids were bad.
I think if we had more time, we cannot go 3 hours on this show. But if we had, I would have liked to have put in one from the Fox years where it was a different host to see what it became absent Wesley. But that would also feel not in the spirit of the thing, because I never watched that one. For me, Finders Keepers, my favorite Nickelodeon game show. It's not FK if it's not WE. Wesley Eure.
Good point. I wrote FK meaning French kiss on my paper, and only much later was like, wait, they're both FK.
Wow. Yeah, this was a bit crestfalling. I didn't assume it would be good, but I did really like this show as a kid, so I think I would have liked it if it were at least more charming than this.
Yeah.
But this is definitely one where you're like, oh, not only is this not good, I was so young, I could not perceive what a poorly run ship looked like. Like, this is one of the most, you know, fly-by-night Nickelodeon children's game shows I've ever seen in terms of the sheer number of miscues and mishaps and mistakes being made both by host and presumably production staff. It's really pretty remarkable. So
yeah, it's you know, you say a badly run ship. It's a guy in a barrel with an oar, and he's only paddling on one side.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Sometimes he ratchets it up and like paddles worse by trying harder. Yeah. But what would you say is the most kid-friendly bit of it?
I can tell you what I liked most as a kid, and it was the house. It was seeing the house where like you can see every room at once because it's cross-cut. I think Wes Anderson, as you said, would agree with me that that's the best bit, if not the kid-friendliest. Also, like, near the sides of the house, they've even bothered to put in, like, a little bit of fake grass, and you can see, like, a hose and, like, a bicycle leaning against the house. And for some reason, I always really loved that. I loved the little lived-in details, as we alluded to, about the Haunted Mansion in Pirates of the Caribbean, creating these sort of false life scenes, was, for some reason, when I was a kid, and even to today, is something I find very compelling. So,
how do you think it affected you watching Finders Keepers?
It made me the smart, chill, cool guy I am today. And if you like me as a host or as a friend, I don't know if you would answer affirmatively to either of those these days, but if you would, you owe it to Wesley Eure and Finders Keepers. I'm just kidding.
To watch every episode.
Yeah. We'll, the next time I'm hosting an episode, we're doing another 2 episodes of Finders Keepers. It's Finders Keepers Volume 2. Going alongside our commercials of the 80s and 90s series is Finders Keepers.
You asked for it. When would your mom have walked in?
I mean, I'm sure she was watching this with me. I was young enough. There wasn't really anything I was watching on the TV unsupervised at this point, because I probably couldn't even use the remote properly at that age. So This was something to be watched in the home with family. I don't think anything about it could scan as embarrassing to me at that age. I know that because if I was able to parse that sort of thing, I would have been embarrassed the whole time I watched it. I would have been embarrassed for and by Wesley.
Do you think, what if she were watching and they said, Dad hid everything in cigar boxes? What if she just, like, suddenly, like, eyes widened, gripped the armrest, and excused herself from the room?
Well, that
could be a moment.
That could be a moment. That didn't happen. I wonder if I feel like, I'd probably just forget about it the next day. I was a pretty sound sleeper those days. Every day I wake up, it's like I wiped the Etch-a-Sketch. It's a brand new day,
Yeah. Would you show any future children this?
I don't know. Are they like a little shit? Do I like them?
It's just children in the future. They could be dislikable.
I don't think I would show it to them. I think I think the idea of showing them old game shows is not out of bounds in my mind because there's so many of them on YouTube. They are light entertainment that I don't perceive as offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I can get them watching old Legends of the Hidden Temples instead of YouTube brain rot, I know which one I would take. So.
Yeah.
But no, not this show.
Not this one. Yeah.
I try to find the episode of Double Dare where he says, I look like a homosexual. And that would be my way to sort of educate them about, equality and, tolerance and changing standards of our times.
Yeah. You pause the show and you step out in front of the screen to say, now I know I heard you laugh at that.
But
I think that it's an important thing that we talk about now very seriously.
Now you just turned 3.
Yeah.
I realize you were more laughing at his ridiculous beret and fake mustache, but there was something else you might have been laughing at.
Yeah. Just saying the word sexual, even as part of a larger word, that's a bit much.
I know. Yeah.
And that's from our best host. But what would you say this says about society at the time?
I think it says fuck all about society. I don't think it says anything. I mean,
society. They wish that they had anything to any kind of purchase on society.
Yeah, I mean, these game shows. This was, Double Dare already existed, and was a big success. And I guess this is like, but it's still early in the curve of Nickelodeon's like, what is our programming? What are we putting on the airwaves? They had Double Dare. They had, we know these 50-year-old Looney Tunes cartoons still hit. But, like I said, I guess, I don't know, urban spelunking.
Okay.
Getting one over on the parents by trashing their house. Washed up 70s actors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A man forced to live in the closet because he feared show business wouldn't accept him for who he was.
Yeah.
And yet still doing such a bad job that despite knowing that, we don't feel like we can marshal that much sympathy for him having watched these 2 episodes. I can marshal sympathy for that, but it didn't lighten the load of what we had to do.
Yeah. He's the Angel Hernandez of his day. Did you face discrimination? Certainly. Were you doing such a good job?
Alright, that's it for this episode. Thank you all so much for listening and watching. Our theme music is by Seth Milstein, aka No Rush. You can find his work at norush85.bandcamp.com. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or on YouTube if you're watching the video, or on any of your other podcast apps. On YouTube, we are youtube.com/@nowweknowpod. Check us out. We have video episodes for everything we do now. Patreon and the YouTube channel. You can see us talking about these things. You can see me sitting on the Finders Keepers set. I unearthed it. I staffed it with people. They still haven't moved. They're holding very still. But it's been 2 hours, and I can hear some groans coming from back there. You can also check us out on social media at NowWeKnowPod on Twitter and Instagram. Those are the main things we use. Really, Instagram's the main one. Kevin recently started a Substack for the show. I don't know what he's done with that. I'm not involved in it, but I'm sure it's pretty cool.
But you've been Twitch streaming?
I have been Twitch streaming. Check us out on Twitch, at NowWeKnowPod on Twitch. I have been working my way through the new Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, Metal Gear Solid Delta. For those of you who know that game, I recently defeated the Fear, and I am now locked in a duel of wills with the End, the ancient sniper. It's not going well. He tranquilized me once and sent me to jail, and then I went all the way back, and he did it again, folks. He put me right back in jail. Want to be part of the show? Call the Now We Know hotline at
415-349-3659 and leave a message.
So now we know, but what do we know?
Rose is displeased. What to do?
Brad's the executive plumber.
Does your kind ever think about love, Chuck?
Well, I'll ask him, but I don't think he'll be very keen. He's already got one, you see.
If I were the boy in the purple socks, I'd hang myself.
The heart of a pig?
Muffins are so simple.
Where did Doc and Dopey sleep?
There's something a little yeek about a boy that's never played baseball.
Peckerhead?
10 years ago, nuclear was the preferred waste.
My ass is twitching. You people make my ass twitch.
Hey, Yuri, don't smush package. What are you, kidding me?
To think, the next time I shoot someone, I could get arrested.
Of course, a tracking device. But why didn't we just use that from the beginning?
As the natural leader of the children, you're doing a horrible job.
Listen, Justin, the heat panels. You have to listen, the heat panels, they're terrible. Burning, they burn.
I was jazzing. Did you like it?
Dad hid everything in the cigar boxes.
And now we know.
We know now.
Bye.
Goodbye.